to get here. You think I'm going to let Vandy Daddy come in there and pee in my face? You got another thing coming, Rob Halford. But in the meantime, we have a lot to talk about. And a robust debate about this quarterback that's on our campus right now. And a myriad of other issues to get into. But the Playbook with William Patterson's on the way next here at Fan Run Radio. So we're going to cede the floor to him on our Fan Run platform and then continue to do what we're doing, whatever this is we're doing over here. So it's William Patterson followed by Russell Dubs Smith and the gang. And I know that Russell Dubs was in high cotton yesterday at the basketball game with his company. So good for you, Dubsy.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, however you may be doing so on this Wednesday from Knoxville, Tennessee. And boy, do we have plenty to cover. Literally, we're a little bit late coming on because I'm talking to Jacquez White, Troy cornerback, tells me he's going to Virginia Tech, another Tennessee portal target off the board, and had to put that out. So we do apologize for coming on just a little bit late. But this, I mean, it's chaos, Brett. There is so much going on nationally here in Knoxville. The portal is honestly exhausting. I got in here at 9 o'clock today. I tried to get in here earlier, but I was up late last night trying to get stuff ready for today. Mm-hmm. I need a deep breath real quick. Brett, how are you? Let me take a deep breath real quick.
You're good, man. Unfortunately, the portal's not going our way right now. A lot of swings and misses, a lot of X's, whatever you want to call it right now. It's, you get good news with guys coming to visit, but you're just not closing the deal on a lot of these guys. And you're trying to enjoy a basketball game last night, a big win for the Vols, and the portal news just is off the chain. It was hard to even focus on watching the Vols get a big win last night. Jacoby Gillespie going for a career high and all this other stuff. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about, good, bad, and all in between. So, but yeah, it's been wild. The portal hasn't even been open a week yet. So, it's only going to get crazier as. You're going to continue to hear more and more names entering, and, you're just getting crazy stories out there left and right last night.
All right, deep breath has been acquired. Plenty to talk about today, folks. Tennessee, I'll give you the latest updated board for the transfer portal for Tennessee football as they try to add key pieces heading into the offseason for a very important 2026 season for Josh Heupel and company. We got a couple of new visits. I'll tell you about those. I'll tell you about a couple of guys that are going to shine better elsewhere. Literally, a guy that's going to shine better elsewhere, texted me 10 minutes ago he's going somewhere else. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll also talk about the quarterback situation. Ty Simpson going to the NFL draft, kind of a chain reaction of that Sam Levitt news coming out last night. You kind of figure that Simpson going to the draft was understood, was known. They know they have to go get Levitt into town, and we'll talk about the importance of Sam Levitt here in a bit, folks. I've been very high on him from the jump. Going back to the beginning of the season, I had him as a top 10 quarterback in college football coming off a 2024 season with the Sun Devils that was very strong. Led him to the college football playoff, won the Big 12 championship. He was banged up this season. I know a lot of people want to talk about the off-the-field stuff. We'll cover all of it. But I do think it could be Sam Levitt or bust right now for the Volunteers in terms of quarterback. But we'll update the board. We'll talk about the quarterback situation. Also talk nationally. Damon Williams Jr., the quarterback at Washington, making headlines for the wrong reasons. And when you start to dive into this a little bit more, the timing of last night's announcement is even worse. Very bad situation in Washington. LSU, Lane Kiffin has something to do with it. Who would have thought Lane Kiffin has something to do with it?
He's desperate down there, man.
Who would have thought that Lane Kiffin has something
he thought he had all
to do with something bad?
All this in his back pocket, man. He didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
He's just banking on, what we said yesterday, banking on all these Ole Miss guys that said, no, thank you, Lane. So, but yeah, we got our own stuff to worry about right now too.
Well, we appreciate all of you listening and watching along with us, especially on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. Buck in the YouTube chat, he's always one of the first ones. Afternoon sports fans, let me do the update, please. Tennessee is getting their ass kicked. They're all done.
Yes, we are, Buck. Yes, we are.
Well, let's get into the updated board for Tennessee football in the transfer portal. We'll begin with the commits. Safety, nickel, Quay Moss from Kansas State, committed on Sunday.
That was forever ago, it feels like.
Feels like forever ago. But
like
he was
played for us.
The first volunteer in the boat. And then yesterday, you got Ori Williams out of LSU, a 6'8" offensive tackle. The number 464 player in the 24/7 Sports Transfer Portal rankings. He's out of San Marco, Texas. Was the number 433 player in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings out of high school. He played 2 seasons of high school football. It was a dual sport athlete. Played basketball as well, but did not begin playing football until his junior year of high school. A little bit of a late bloomer, but a guy that could be a really good swing blocker for the Volunteers offensive line. So that's the good news. Let's talk about the bad news. The Shine Better Elsewhere list gets longer. And if you follow on Twitter, I posted earlier at around 11:45, the updated board. We've got another one to update in that mix as well. I'll do so here in a minute. But Keenan Thomas, linebacker, Ole Miss. Tofweek Byard, defensive back from Colorado, Texas A&M. We knew those. We told you about those yesterday. But since we have last been on the air, we've had 3 guys that were scheduled to visit Tennessee that have now canceled and committed elsewhere. That's Cam Cook, Jacksonville State running back, committed to West Virginia yesterday afternoon. He's a 5'11 running back who led the nation in rushing yards with 1,659 on 295 carries and rushed for 16 touchdowns. He began his career at TCU, traveled to Jacksonville State this season, and was very strong for the Gamecocks. Now will go to West Virginia and be with Rich Rod. Defensive end / Leo Adam Trick out of Miami, Ohio, a guy that I was very complimentary about over the last couple of days. Standout Leo from Dayton, Ohio originally. Also set career best this season with 59 tackles, 8.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 4 pass deflections, 1 interception as well. He is headed to Texas Tech. I put Texas Oil on the list I put out on Twitter, but Texas Oil has claimed 2 victims for the Volunteers, Adam Trick and as well as Mateen Igbaraga. Or excuse me, I tried to get that today. I tried to get that one.
You don't need to know it now.
I know. We'll go back to the well. Mateen I from
miss.
Wake Forest. He is going to Texas Tech as well. And the new addition to the group of Shine Better Elsewhere is Jaquez White, a cornerback from Troy. He tells me that he is headed to Virginia Tech, a guy that Tennessee was very much in the mix for, was towards the top of the board in terms of portal acquisitions. He is headed to Virginia Tech. He was the number 28 cornerback according to 24/7 Sports transfer rankings, listed as a 86 grade, totaled 67 tackles, 53 solo tackles, 11 pass deflections, and 1 touchdown in 2025 off a pick 6. But Jaquez White, a guy I really liked a lot. I thought he had the potential to be that Colton Hood type player. A little bit stashed in the transfer portal rankings, but can come in and make a big impact. He is headed elsewhere. So that is the new addition to the Shine Better Elsewhere group. Positive news, kind of. We got 2 new visits, 2 new names to know. Quarterback Sam Leavitt out of Arizona State, the number 1 player in the transfer portal, is headed to Knoxville later this evening, according to Austin Price. Multi-day visit for the coveted transfer quarterback. He stands at 6'2", 205, and he's from West Lynn, Oregon. And Leavitt totaled 2,885 yards in the air for 24 touchdowns and 6 interceptions while running for 443 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground in 2024 when he helped lead the Sun Devils to the college football playoff and a Big 12 championship over Iowa State last season. The former Sun Devil slinger was beat up this year, posted only 1,628 yards and 15 total touchdowns to 3 interceptions in 2025. He's got a foot injury that will sideline him most likely till late April, early May. And I know that's some people's big gripe about him, but let's be real, folks. Joey Aguilar didn't get on campus until late May, early June, and led the SEC in passing this season. And I think Sam Leavitt is a much better player, more established player than Joey Aguilar was when he got on campus and came to Tennessee. He's the number 1 quarterback in the portal for a reason. He was my number 1 guy entering the portal, regardless of Tennessee being involved. I didn't think Tennessee would really have a shot at him. But now with Texas Tech taking Brendan Sorsby, Trinidad Chambliss staying at Ole Miss, it's down to Leavitt and now Damon Williams Jr. for LSU. But it seems like Leavitt might be going in a different direction. Keep in mind, folks, he's an Adidas athlete. Tennessee set to switch over to Adidas at the midway point of the year in July. That would be a nice tie-in. I think we'll talk more about Leavitt here in a minute. We'll do a full segment on him because I have a very passionate take about it. But he's coming to Knoxville. There's some initial knowledge to know about him. Another guy who I actually think is really sneaky here, defensive tackle Francis Baru from Pittsburgh. 6'2", Westerville, Ohio native, totaled 36 tackles, 18 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble in 2025 for the Panthers. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, but he was a freshman All-American this season in the ACC, a guy that made a lot of big plays for Pittsburgh down the stretch when they started to rattle off a couple of big, impressive wins. And I think that'd be a really nice addition. Now, obviously, all of these guys would be really nice additions at this point, but I do think Francis Baru is a good name to know and a guy that's coming in the building. We'll hope and pray that he leaves the building committed or actually gets to campus, but Francis Baru, another name to know. We'll continue with these other visits/targets. Kayan Lee of Auburn is supposed to be here today as well in Knoxville. We talked about him yesterday. Made multiple starts over the last 3 seasons a 2-year starter for sure, made some starts in 2023 as well, but recorded 31 tackles, 25 solo tackles, 4 pass deflections, and 1 interception in 2025. And he's from Ellenville, Georgia, the number 141 player in the portal, number 8 cornerback with an 88 grade. That would be a nice replacement for Jacquez White, who's now headed to Virginia Tech. Dylan Skokorski from Oregon State, an interior offensive lineman. He is on campus today as well. A guy that made 6 starts last year, played in 10 games. Not a whole lot on him, however, as Oregon State obviously was not a very good football team this year. But he's the number 25 interior offensive lineman in the portal. And then Kanye Thomas, a very interesting prospect here. Talked with him yesterday. He told me his top 3 are Ohio State, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh. And he's received multiple offers, including his 14th from Indiana yesterday afternoon. He's a 6-foot corner from McKeesport, Pennsylvania, ranked as the number 673 player in the portal. And I know you might hear those rankings and say, oh gosh, that's who we're after? This is a very talented athlete, is a dual sport athlete, does track as well, and he broke the conference record for the fastest 100-meter dash earlier this year. I guess maybe not this fiscal year, but in 2025.
At some point.
This is a guy that, from talking with him yesterday, he's got a goal, and that's the NFL draft. He wants to get to the NFL, and I feel like he can do that at Tennessee, can do that at Ohio State, can do that in Indiana. But for Tennessee, he'll have an opportunity to play right away. And he totaled 60 total tackles, 38 solo tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 10 pass breakups, and 4 forced fumbles in 2025. A speedster that is garnering a lot of attention from some of these top schools. Ohio State and Indiana in the mix.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of look away from those rankings because sometimes these guys are just ball players going from the D2 level at Slippery Rock to the Division I level. Now, a lot of these other names we already know much about. Rylick Rawls from Kansas, Amari Campbell from Penn State. We've talked a lot about them. Zylan Perry, a running back return specialist from University of Louisiana Lafayette. That's a guy I still project will be a volunteer as a specialist. And then you've got, the 2 Penn State guys that are pretty high up on the portal rankings. I'd say right now, as I labeled them on here, as good as gone.
Yeah.
And that's Chaz Coleman from Penn State. Posted pictures at his visit at LSU and Ohio State. Nothing from Tennessee.
Right.
And that's not my only reasoning for it, folks. But I'm just saying I don't project Chaz Coleman coming here. A guy I do project coming here, and hopefully we'll get some news here sooner and a commitment here soon, is Xavier Gilliam of Penn State, a defensive tackle, totaled 16 tackles, 12 solo tackles, and a half sack and 1 forced fumble in 2025 for the Nittany Lions. The 6'2", 302 lineman is ranked as the number 32 overall player in the transfer portal rankings when I initially did my research. He's now up to 39, I should say. But he is a prospect that has a 94 portal grade. So that would be a hit. That'd be the best guy you got in the door yet. I anticipate Tennessee will end up securing him, but obviously, as we know in the portal, you never know who's knocking on the door and who could possibly offer a nice bag. So that is the current slate. That's the current rundown as we stand here at 1:20 on Wednesday, January 7th. A lot to cover, a lot to talk about. Your reaction to Adam Trick, Mateen I, Jacquez White, Cam Coleman all going elsewhere. Excuse me, not Cam Coleman. I guess we can include Chaz Coleman.
Chaz Coleman, yeah.
Jacquez White as well. What do you make of those guys not coming here? Cam Cook in addition to that.
I mean, it's disappointing. These guys are getting locked up as soon as they get to this Texas Tech team is just bombarding the portal right now and just taking in any potential guys we might get a chance at and just locking them up as soon as they get on campus. So that's a little frustrating. Jacquez White, you thought was going to, visit a couple of days ago, on Sunday, I believe was when he visited. And it's a little frustrating not to get him locked up and losing him to a Virginia Tech who's, you should be ahead of in a pecking order right now in the college football landscape. Word is they bumped up the money and we weren't willing to match or go higher because I think you had conversations with him. It seemed not a lock, but pretty confident in that one. You're just losing battles. Is it simply just the money side of things, or is there other reasons? They don't like the campus, or they don't like the coaching staff. Different things like that. But at this point, you got to think of it as money. I mean, you don't have relationships with this kid, so the one way you're going to win them is by money. And whatever's going on over there on campus, we're not forking out the money right now. I think it's just as simple as that. So hopefully, we got some other names. You got the 2 Alabama kids. Austin Price earlier said that I think they're visiting on Sunday, possibly, Russo and James Smith. Mari Campbell's supposed to be in on Friday, So hopefully you guys, that's not too far down the list, and, you get these guys on. But you got to find a way to start closing some of these deals and things like that. So I'm really frustrated right now. I think a lot of people are the way this portal's going right now, and you gotta start landing some people to make you feel at least a little bit better. Ori Williams and Quay Moss aren't doing a whole lot for you right now when it's just 2 pieces.
Someone on the YouTube chat saying you are misinformed. Adam Trick has not committed yet. This is his most recent post on Twitter with him at Texas Tech. He committed last night, but he is now officially committed. And I'm not trying to dunk on you or anything. I promise. I'm trying to be respectful. But he is headed to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And you need to make Aaron Haynes. All right, bud. You need to make sure it is confirmed before you report it. It is confirmed.
Yeah.
And was
CBS
confirmed
Sports
last night.
Anywhere he goes, got it.
And he also committed today. So it is confirmed.
Yeah.
Outside of those guys that you missed on, you've got a couple of big names here today. Sam Levitt's one of them. I'm very high on him. I know a lot of people are upset and worried
a lot of people,
about his character and stuff like that. We'll talk more about him when we specifically discuss the quarterback situation in this next segment. But right now, I think you have to focus defensively because quarterback is definitely a huge thing for Tennessee.
you gotta have
is it Joey Aguilar? Is it George McIntyre? Faison Brandon? Is it another guy? And you're only as good as your quarterback. But this defense was the reason why you were way down throughout this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got to go out there and add guys in the portal. Quay Moss, a good start, but that's not a guy that's changing everything for this team.
Nope.
You brought in Jim Knowles as a championship hire with the expectation of competing and having one of the best defenses in the country. It's what Jim Knowles had at Ohio State. It's what you had 2 seasons ago under Tim Banks with a very talented cast of players, all of which, had NFL considerations, and some of them are shining on the NFL stage this season, James Pierce Jr. being one of them. You've got to go get interior guys. You've got to go get cornerbacks. You've got to fix
it all, man.
The issues that you had this past year. And the problem is Tennessee's not closing deals.
Not at all.
We talked about this yesterday. The teams that are closing deals right now, LSU's closing them, Ole Miss is closing them, Indiana did their homework before going on vacation. They're playing in the college football playoff on Friday. They got 8 commits and said, all right, we got a bulk of our guys.
We got a good start.
We got a good start.
Yeah.
Tennessee hadn't played football, meaningful football, and if you really want to say, since the Oklahoma game.
Absolutely.
Now, the Florida game was meaningful. Vanderbilt was meaningful. I thought the bowl game, you needed to win. But in terms of, Indiana's still competing for a national championship. And they're out here nailing everyone that they wanted. Tennessee has had time to look into who they wanted. Tennessee has had time to know who they wanted to get on campus, and they aren't getting guys on campus in time, and instead they're canceling visits and committing elsewhere.
And your head football coach is taking pictures with high school recruits. Don't even get me started on that. That is the most annoying. You don't see any of the coaches out there with high school recruits. Lane Kiffin's taking a picture with Chaz Coleman next to a car. I know Kiffin's at a basketball game with the recruits. What are we doing here? What's going on? You're losing your best players on this football team currently.
Mm-hmm.
You lost more yesterday. You lost Jordan Ross. You lost all those guys going to the draft. You have a depleted roster right now. And what have you done? You've signed 2 players. And you already had the youngest team in the SEC last year, or one of the youngest teams. You need veteran guys in here. This is your chance to go get veteran football players. You got a good recruiting class. We're all happy about that. We were excited about Tristan Keys, Faison Brandon, Osinda. But those guys, like you said, are young players. They're not going to be ready to go next year. This is your chance to go make your stamp. Put Tennessee on the map. Like, get us excited. And right now, you're bringing these vibes down after the loss to Illinois. We thought, all right, you're going to hit the portal, right? And you're not doing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're trying. I don't know. But it is very frustrating. No, he's in Martin, Tennessee. We all think why he was there, all this other stuff. Then he's in South Carolina visiting a really good, talented young player, 5-star kid. But that doesn't help you for next year. So I don't know. It's just very frustrating what's going on over there. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I really don't.
And the thing is, I think they know this. Like, I think they understand it. I don't know what the disconnect is. Now,
I don't. Yeah.
Now, Jacquez White didn't tell me the reason why he chose Virginia Tech, but, Tennessee was firmly in the mix for him. And that was a guy you got on campus
first.
And, so he visited Virginia Tech before Tennessee.
Did he? Okay.
But Tennessee had he had the most recent visit with Tennessee. So, it's tough because you get these guys on campus, and in this case, you got them after he had already left another school.
It's amazing. What are you doing, to get them on campus, which you must be doing hard work to get them on campus. Hey, come see us. This is what we're about, things like that. But what are you doing when they get to campus? Guys are there's pictures of Lyric Rawls at the airport interviewing about his trip. He should be talking about his commitment to the University of Tennessee while leaving. That doesn't give me any confidence that he's interviewing at the airport. Oh, I had a great trip. He's not, they said I can do this and do that. Okay, well, give him the money. I don't know. Gosh, I don't just want to sign him, but it's getting to that point where you needed football players on this team.
Freaky Fox goes, we lost Jordan Ross yesterday. Yes, we did. A former 5-star.
And it doesn't mean you can't get him back, but we saw people hit the portal last year. But I think he's gone.
I'm not surprised he left. It hadn't been a good fit, and Knowles likes kind of more beefier,
which doesn't make sense. We're not in the Big Ten. That annoys me too.
Well,
that whole wants beefier guys. It doesn't win in the SEC.
I know, but really Jordan Ross hadn't lived up to those expectations. I don't think it's as big of a loss as people.
It is right now.
Well, it is right now, but
who's your edges? You lost Caleb Herring. You're losing Josh Josephs.
I agree, but I think they're,
maybe a defensive end on the roster right now.
It wasn't a shock to me that he left. I'll say that. Just the fit hasn't been working, and Chop Robinson not returning either. I think that plays into it. Wish him the best. I don't think he'll come back, but that opens up some money right there as well. I think the big thing here for Tennessee, and I know we got a couple of people in the chat saying that all we're doing is complaining. Look, it's
what do you want us to do? We'd love to celebrate the victories, but we're in a negative state of mind right now.
It's just venting a little bit, and we'll be positive talking about some possible players that could be coming here in the next segment. But I think the big thing is just when you're looking across the country, the schools that you're trying to compete with in the SEC and the national landscape for the college football playoff, they're doing something different and it's working. And I think that's what Tennessee has to think about right now. What are we not doing that these other teams are doing? Lane Kiffin, I know he's a very different type coach, and you knew LSU was going to be able to snag some big-time portal acquisitions. But Jace Brown, Jackson Harris, Eugene Wilson, for their needs, they needed wide receivers. They got 3 really strong ones.
Yeah.
For Tennessee, your needs were defensive guys, and you haven't been able to land those guys yet. Now, Xavier Gilliam could definitely change the win. That would definitely help. But the problem is you're not even getting a visit, or you've got guys canceling visits before they even get to campus. And I know that's out of Tennessee's control. But again, that goes into the strategic part of let's get these guys on campus early. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But again, to the gentleman named Aaron Haynes who said, You need to make sure it is confirmed before you report it. It was confirmed last night. Adam Trick is going to Texas Tech.
Just search on Google, like it pops up immediately.
I don't get off. I don't like to snap at people. I always appreciate those listening, but don't.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Don't question my credibility when I'm,
It's out there.
So when we come back, we'll continue talking about the transfer portal. Also, the quarterback situation. Ty Simpson going to the NFL draft. Sam Leavitt coming onto campus. I'll talk more about that and what I believe that means for Tennessee, and if Sam Leavitt would be a possibility for the Volunteers. We'll break it down when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com. North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
That's why they call me Slim Shady. I'm back. That's why they call me Slim Shady. I'm back. That's why they call me Slim Shady. I'm back.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, however you may be doing so, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM here in K-Town, on the local dial, or on that X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Just dropped a poll during the break. If you're on that YouTube chat, who would you like to see at quarterback next year? Joey Aguilar, G-Mac, or Faison, or Sam Leavitt? Likely $5 million on the tag. Put your vote in there. We'll read them off, as well as your comments as we continue on. But I do want to talk about the Tennessee quarterback situation, as we do have some new information to present. Ty Simpson headed to the NFL draft. Brett, are you surprised that Simpson decided to go that route?
Not completely. I think it's a weak quarterback class. Some of these teams are in the NFL are frankly needing quarterbacks, and I think he's a good good option for some of these teams. I think he has every bit of talent as Dante Moore and people like that. So who knows? He could fly up with, the scouting combine if he does it, or the pro day, things like that. But with a weak class, I mean, I think he has every bit to jump into that first round of whether it's even in a backup, or something like that. But I'm not completely shocked. I think he's done probably his homework from the NFL world, even though we're not seeing it on mock drafts. They're talking to teams and things like that. So he's probably going to end up great now that these things change, but not completely shocked that he went to the NFL draft. I think I would have been more upset if he did hit the portal and didn't end up here. If he did end up to Oregon or Miami or whoever, it might be, when, we're thinking, if he hits the portal, we're definitely getting him. Now that he's going to the draft, maybe it eases the pain a little bit of not getting him, but not completely shocked that he's going pro.
Simpson recorded 3,567 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 2025 for the Tide. Led them to the SEC Championship as well as the College Football Playoff, where they defeated Oklahoma in the first round and obviously lost at the hands of Indiana in the Rose Bowl almost a week ago at this point now. But Simpson was an intriguing option for Tennessee in the portal with those Tennessee ties. A Martin, Tennessee native. His father, Jason, coaches at University of Tennessee at Martin, and there's always been a little bit of a connection there. And I know that Josh Heupel was in Martin, Tennessee on Monday. A lot of people were saying, why the hell is he there for a high school recruit? I'd try to put 2 and 2 together, but obviously that would be tampering and not real. I don't know exactly what went down, but I feel like there's always something and there's always a reason for a move like that. But I will say Heupel schedules this stuff in advance, so he was already going to be there.
Probably why Levitt's coming today.
And that's the other thing I did want to touch on. Probably knew that Simpson wasn't going to enter the draft, or was going to enter the draft,
option.
And you get Levitt on board last night for a visit. And that brings us to Sam Levitt. And you might be watching on YouTube and you look at the title down low. It's Levitt or bust for Tennessee right now. I've loved Sam Levitt.
You have.
Since the beginning of the season. I loved him last year. I know he's been banged up. I'll address all of the concerns about his character and such here in a second. But let me tell you what Sam Levitt brings to the table for Tennessee. Sam Levitt is a gamer. Sam Levitt is a game changer. He is a dual threat quarterback that has an incredible knack for finding lanes and avoiding pressure and running out into open field and making big plays. Go watch his tape this season. Go watch it last season. This is a guy that makes plays. Texas Tech, a really good football team this year. Really good defense. Sam Levitt diced up that Texas Tech defense earlier this year. And I know Texas Tech had a backup quarterback in Will Hammond playing that game against the Sun Devils, but everyone was available for that Texas Tech defense. Yep. One of the best in the country. And Sam Levitt was making play after play in that game on a not so good foot. This is a guy that automatically would raise the ceiling for Tennessee offensively because of the type of playmaker that he is. And I think that he would be a home run hit for Tennessee. And in terms of, missing on a Simpson, missing on any of these other guys, Brendan Sorsby, I think Levitt's still the best one available and has been that one. Mm-hmm. Now, I think Simpson and Levitt are, right there. Obviously, Simpson was a Heisman Trophy candidate at one point this season, but he didn't finish the year off great. And he also had a lot of bad moments. Let's go back to Florida State. Wasn't great in that one. Wasn't great against Indiana. Was horrible against Georgia. That's a team, Tennessee faces usually. Obviously not next year, but Levitt is a guy that's already proven he can do it at the highest level. Won a Big 12 championship. Competed in a college football playoff game in his first year as a starter. Sam Levitt raises the ceiling. Tennessee fans should be over the moon right now that he's coming to campus. So his play is a big check mark for me. Let's talk about the other characteristics, as I'm sure a lot of people, obviously here in the comments section, talking about his character and such. Get to that here in a moment. He's an Adidas athlete, folks. An Adidas signed athlete. Tennessee going over to Adidas here very soon. Will be in an Adidas uniform next football season. That's an instant connection right there. And a big reason why Tristan Keys came to Tennessee is because of that Adidas connection. He's an Adidas athlete. And a part of that Adidas deal was Adidas was going to help out in the NIL world. Well, this is a perfect guy to help out with this. So he's got that piece to it as well. LSU just signed a lucrative deal with Nike, and they're like one of the faces of the Nike brand. Tennessee goes to Adidas. Sam Levitt, an Adidas guy. That fit works as well. I think he's a gamer. I like the Adidas connection as well. I think that plays into it. Now the gripes. He wasn't a gamer versus Mississippi State. That was a tough outing for Arizona State. Admittedly, I had Arizona State winning that game. Mm-hmm. I had Arizona State a lot higher in terms of what they would be this season. But keep in mind, folks, when Jordan Tyson or Sam Levitt didn't play this season, they were a completely different team. And that's because both those guys are really impactful. Jordan Tyson would play a game. If Sam Levitt wasn't there, they didn't win. If it was the other way around, they didn't win. But they point up against some really good teams. And beating Texas Tech, one of the best defenses in the country, and Sam Levitt playing the way he did in that game, and that was a couple of months or a couple of weeks removed from that Mississippi State matchup, I'd use as a little bit better of a litmus test. But that's just me. The concern with Levitt is, he's not a good locker room guy. He's an issue. There's a reason why he's pinballing around in terms of the portal. I do agree. I think that's a bit of a problem, but it's not necessarily Sam Levitt. It's his dumbass brother who is one of these former NFL players that is now turned into an agent that is going around kind of making a fool of himself. But let's be real, folks. Sam Levitt's trying to get to the draft next year. Mm-hmm. He's trying to go to the NFL. You're not going to have to deal with a lot of this next season. He's trying to play really good football and make it to the NFL. You don't really have to worry about possibly entering the portal and all of that. Now, he's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. I will say that. But I wouldn't use what went down in Arizona State and what the Arizona State people are saying, who are obviously upset they're losing him. Right? Defense is a big concern. You have to fix that side of the football.
Yeah.
But in terms of a quarterback, Sam Levitt would be the best option you have and would significantly raise your ceiling. So I think it's Levitt or bust for Tennessee at the quarterback situation. If you want to bring Joey Aguilar back, that's fine. You'd probably get him on a little bit of a better deal, and he was still a really good performer this season in terms of the numbers, though I will say I thought he declined as the season went on in terms of his accuracy and not turning the football over. You guys know how I feel about GMAC and Faison. I think they're great players and can be great players for Tennessee in the future. Not this season, not this upcoming season, when you have to win games. I don't think anyone's going to be happy if Tennessee goes 6-6 next season. No one will. And everyone's going to be calling for Josh Heupel's job. So I don't understand the people that say, well, let's just take the lumps and bruises with GMAC and Faison, but they're also the same people complaining about this roster and about the way that Tennessee finished the season last year, with a roster that would probably be around the same if you have a GMAC at quarterback. Again, it's nothing against them, but I go and look at the other young quarterbacks in college football and what they've looked like. Bryce Underwood was a 5-star. They didn't beat a good team this season. Dylan Raiola, a 5-star that went to Nebraska. A lot of resources there in year one. Didn't do anything. Hadn't been a ranked team since 2016. I project the same for Jared Curtis next year at Vanderbilt. These guys need to develop, and there's a lot of trust in that. There's a lot gained in developing. We don't see that a whole lot right now in the portal era. Guys just get up and leave because they're not going to start right away. The guys that find the most success are the ones that stick around and continue to develop. Fernando Mendoza is a guy playing a lot of football right now, a lot of great football, that is. He's a guy that stuck around in his current program and then decided to leave and take that big next jump. But he established himself at California after 3 seasons. Dante Moore started off at UCLA, went the route of, I want to play right away. It was horrible. Then he goes to Oregon, develops, and is now going to be a first-round pick. Playing right away isn't sustainable right now with all the movement. And that's why I don't want GMAC or Faison to roll out there next year for their own good. Because if they go out there and don't look like the part, everyone's going to be ready to move on from them. And I don't think that's a fair situation for them. So that's where I stand with Sam Leavitt. That's where I stand with the quarterback situation. It's Leavitt or bust right now for me. And I think Vols fans should be excited about the opportunity of him coming here. He's a hell of a player. Dual threat. Gamer. I think it'd be a good fit, would raise the ceiling for the Volunteers. Brett, anything on Sam Leavitt?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty awesome to see that news that he was going to be coming up to visit. I think we're getting to a point where, as fans, we're pretty desperate. We know you can't roll into the season with two guys on scholarship, talented as they are. Like you said, you probably can't win with them next year. So you need somebody at that quarterback position. But with that said, Leavitt comes in, the rest of the roster looks pretty bleak right now. We had a really good offense last year for the most part, and because the defense wasn't very good, we struggled. The team didn't beat anybody last year. So, but Leavitt, I think, raises the ceiling of your potential for next year for sure. And I'm with you. The off-the-field stuff is what it is, but there's been good quarterbacks have off-field issues that were really good. Johnny Manziel had his issues at A&M, really good player. Baker had his stuff, Heisman Trophy winner, playoff quarterback. I mean, we saw it this year with Pavia. He talks more noise than anybody, but when that whistle's blown, he lights it up. And I can get past with that. Now, if he starts losing and we see stuff off the field, we're going to have issues, no doubt about it. But I think you see how much heart he plays with. I think you can put that to the wayside until, a lot of it's all hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't actually know. We're not there, but I think I could look past that. And, this injury is what it is. But like you said, he's an experienced guy. I think the way Aguilar was able to handle it, I think this guy could come in and do it and raises the ceiling of this team and the hopes of Vol fans for sure.
Most definitely. When we come back, we'll continue talking about the transfer portal, the quarterback situation. We'll read your comments during the break. Send a couple of questions if you have one about the current situation for Tennessee or about Sam Leavitt. We'll answer them on the other side when we come back. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Whether it's a routine cleaning, whitening for that big event, or fixing a nagging toothache, our gentle team is here for you. With flexible hours, family-friendly care, and the latest technology, Knoxville Smiles makes every visit stress-free. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Call Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 or book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at boknowshouses.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Wednesday as we continue our Transfer Portal Central here on Fan Run Radio. Folks, right now, the best time to get involved on the action of college football or the NFL is the VIP Play app. Use the code FANRUN for $100 in instant bonus bets when you make your first bet of $20 or more. 2 college football playoff games this week. I'll have bets for both of them tomorrow and possibly another 3-unit play. The last time we had a 3-unit play, it was Indiana -7. That one went kind of haywire. We'll talk about those tomorrow, but we'll use our best bet segment today to continue talking about the transfer portal, answering some of your questions on the YouTube chat. Buck goes, how does he raise the ceiling with the current roster, assuming Heupel keeps visiting high school players and missing out on players? And that's definitely a fair question, but you got to think about the offensive side of the ball specifically. You lose Lance Hurd. That's a tough loss, but that then allows for Jesse Perry and David Sanders to both be able to play at the same time. Sham Umarov is going to be one of the guys in the mix as well. But you're adding a couple of portal pieces that could develop into a guy that could play right away. I mean, the Ori Williams at 6'8", like that's a really good swing tackle option. So I think, the offensive line is fine. The running back situation, Deshaun Bishop just re-signed earlier today. We'll talk more about that in hour number 2. You need a backup running back still as Cam Cook goes off the board and goes to West Virginia.
Another annoying one.
But the running back room, for the most part, at least you've got a guy you know is going to be there. But he did have some injury concerns this season. But at least for the most part, you've got a guy. Wide receiver, I don't think anyone's worried about that. I still think that Mike Matthews could possibly enter the portal over some NIL disputes, as he was a guy last year that had that and hadn't done really anything meaningful and asked for a raise. I figure he's going to do the same this year. We'll have to see how that unfolds. But at quarterback, that's your big question. I think if the offensive group is able to add a Levitt, you're good there. Defense obviously is a concern.
Yeah.
Obviously is a concern. But just in terms of focusing on one side of the football, the one where if your defense is not where you want it to be, that can still go out there and put up points, you need to make sure you got all your eggs in the basket on that side of the ball. So that's what I see right now for this current group. But Buck, I totally agree with you. Lot of holes.
We're banking to fill the holes plus add an 11, right? Like that's the hope in this whole process as well. But yeah, I agree with him though. It's bleak, and you have zero confidence that Levitt's gonna do anything. He might just be whining and dining, knowing his brother and his personality and how he is. He's just probably waiting for these playoffs to end. Might end up at Oregon, where he's from, or Miami's an Adidas school. So who knows?
Freaky Fox says, I'd rather focus on the defense in the portal and roll with either Joey or GMAC. Joey is in his second year in the system and could be a legitimate Heisman candidate. Now, the thing with Joey is,
I like that.
And I don't dislike that at all. I mean, I think, that could definitely happen. But the thing with Joey is you're kind of playing with fire. If you don't get a Levitt or don't get another portal quarterback and Aguilar does not get cleared, you're in trouble. Now, from talking to a couple of people, we might have an answer this week. It seems it could go in the right direction. But again, I don't want to speculate and say that. But again, it's out of Tennessee's control. You're kind of playing with fire if you decide to roll with him and he's not doesn't end up being your guy. Again, my thing with GMAC and Faison, I think they'll be good players eventually. Not going to be ready for next year to be able to be your full-time starter and have the confidence to go win 9 to 10 games in the SEC schedule that you're about to face. That's my thing with that. Ben Sherman says, I'm not sold on Sam, but Coach H will make the call. You've had success with portal quarterbacks before. Hooker, I know it wasn't Heupel's guy, but Hooker was a success. I'd say Milton, for the most part, you were competitive at least. Obviously wasn't to the level that you wanted it to be, but you were competitive still, an 8-win team, 9-win team. And then Joey Aguilar, I'd say, was a success from what you got. I mean, hell, he was an Appalachian State quarterback last year playing at UCLA. UCLA was one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. So I think he has shown that he can develop and, make guys that are already established really good. But, again, you're going to have to round out the rest of the roster in order to have the confidence that you're going to be able to win a lot of games. Heupel is gambling on a guy in Levitt who's rehabbing a serious foot injury, and he won't be able to run the offense conservatively for a month, and it's a brand-new offense for him too. The injury is a part of it, but from what I've been told, he's going to be back late April, early May. And even if it's late May, the guy you had starting at quarterback this season didn't get here until late May, early June, and was the SEC passing yards leader.
And Joey's hurt right now.
And Joey's banged up too. That's the thing. Joey's coming off a surgery.
Once he's like 8-10 weeks from being able to do anything.
Yeah.
But he at least knows the offense, obviously. But yeah.
David Speaks says, I'd take a chance on Taron Dickens from Western Carolina. That seems, I don't know about him, to be honest. I know college football.
We're going to have to go down our list if we don't get Levitt and figure out who these guys are and possibilities at that point.
If you don't get Levitt, you're going for a guy that is coming from a G5 school. And
do you shoot your shot with Dylan Raiola?
Dylan Raiola is not for me.
I haven't heard his name at all.
Not my taste.
Lagway? I
think Dylan Raiola is Oregon. I think he's going to Oregon.
Gosh.
But Dylan Raiola would not be my thing.
Okay.
And Buck says, no, Will, not Milton. LOL. He was, for what he was at Michigan, which was unplayable and a guy that got benched, he was solid for Tennessee. I mean, obviously he didn't compete for a championship, but for what he was, I thought he was solid. At least from what he was coming in and what he looked like at the beginning of that 2021 season.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, folks. Great first hour. We'll continue it here in hour number 2. Transfer portal for Tennessee, the national portal. Damon Williams Jr., what a story this is. I'll tell you all about it, and also a very sad / kind of just ridiculous underlying storyline to that as well. We'll also talk about Jordan Ross, Deshaun Bishop on that current team making decisions, and we'll continue talking Tennessee sports. Tennessee basketball got a win last night. We'll probably touch on that as well. Stay right here. It's Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox. Fox Sports Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball to score points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Hear, hear!
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Wednesday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Transfer Portal Tracker, Transfer Portal Central edition of the Playbook. Posting out my updated board. 2 new names off the list. I guess technically, if you're just now joining us, it would be 2. But a new name as we headed to the break, Kamori House headed to Arkansas, linebacker that came onto campus on Monday. House was on campus, goes to Arkansas. I will say, linebacker was a position they were thinking about only taking one additional guy, and it seems like Amari Campbell from Penn State's going to be that guy. So, and he is still very much in play for the Volunteers, but Kamori House, a guy you had on campus, now headed elsewhere. If you're just joining us at the top of the last hour, Troy cornerback Jaquez White tells me he's headed to Virginia Tech, and that has now become official. He is the other name on the list that has been dropped off the Tennessee Transfer Portal Board. You can follow it, William Pattison, on Twitter, as I'll continue to update it sorrowfully at this point. But another name off the list for the Volunteers. In this second hour, we'll talk the national side of the transfer portal, in addition to, again, what's going on at Tennessee. For the current team, current Volunteers team, Deshaun Bishop re-signed for next season. Jordan Ross, a former 5-star defensive end, headed to the draft. Those are the 2 new updates there. And we'll continue to update as we get them. But another tough loss. I liked Kamori House a lot. He began his career at Washington, then transferred to North Carolina, now finds himself at Arkansas. Arkansas was also heavily in the mix for Kanye Thompson, the Slippery Rock cornerback. But obviously, as I reported last night, Tennessee in the top 3 for Thompson. Not a good.
We can't get anybody, man. This is crazy. This is crazy right now.
Not a good start, but the
Not
people online want us to be positive, and I'm sure the listeners do as well. You know,
tell them to give us some positive. Give us a positive. Give us a reason to be positive.
Well, the reason to be positive right now is I anticipate Tennessee at least has 2 guys that are going to commit at some point. Now, one of them, it's taken a little bit longer than I had suspected, and Zylan Perry from University of Louisiana Lafayette. Now, he's not going to make everyone smile.
No.
But Xavier Gilliam will.
Yeah,
that's a top 40 player in the portal. And that's a defensive tackle.
He's choosing us over like Notre Dame and where else did he go? Indiana? Not Indiana. Ohio State? I can't remember who the other place
He's got
was.
a couple of names on the list, but I mean, right now I feel pretty good about him.
Yeah.
And that'd be your best guy you've added. It'd be a good defensive tackle. Now, you got to add some edges. You're kind of losing out on these edges, though. Chaz Coleman, I think, is as good as gone. I said that in hour 1, and I just think he's either Ohio State bound or somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like he is coming here. But the positive, you do have Sam Levitt on campus today. Now, whether people want Sam Levitt or want to stick with GMAC or want to stick with Joey Aguilar, I mean, Josh Heupel is, still heavily considering Levitt, and that should show that, he's still active in some sense. I know Heupel called Levitt first thing on January 2nd when the portal opened and had a conversation with Levitt. I haven't heard much since then with him, but obviously last night we got a little bit of a new information. The funny thing about Levitt and the timing of him coming to Tennessee,
that's where
he was courtside with Lane Kiffin, Whit Weeks, and Jace Brown at the LSU Tigers men's basketball game.
Florida receiver was there, right? Was that the
I thought it was Jace Brown.
Okay, because I know Eugene Wilson just committed.
And Eugene Wilson did commit this morning. But if you're Lane Kiffin, I mean, you're sitting right next to your quarterback on a visit, and it pops up that he's.
Now, would you take Damon? I know we'll get into him and his whole story, but where do you rate him as a? Would he be ahead of Levitt for you, or is he
Sam Levitt,
well down the list?
Sam Levitt would be the number one guy in the portal above anyone for me.
I got you.
I think he's a star. I think he's going to be an NFL.
Miami's rumored on this Damon guy too, just not as heavily as LSU. LSU's the one.
Well, the reason why he's going through this Washington stuff is because of LSU. We'll talk more about that here in a second.
That's fine.
But again, you should be excited about Sam Levitt, the possibility. And I know Sam Levitt's not going to tackle anyone. I know you still got to go get defensive players. But we're being positive. Xavier Gilliam would be a really good hit for Tennessee. Sam Levitt would be a really good get for Tennessee. Then you can start building some momentum. And you never know. Hey, there are a couple of teams still playing, by the way, that haven't all entered the portal yet. You never know.
But you only got 8 days left, and the portal's closed. So how long are these guys?
Well, there's still guys entering. There's still guys entering all the time. I mean, Jordan Ross enters last night.
Yeah.
That's
the big thing. We're losing more than we're gaining. We're losing ground here on the roster. So. Even with a big class coming in. But, man, this is just beginning to be very frustrating.
All right, let's talk about a national storyline that is now making headlines, and that is Damon Williams Jr. It could possibly have a tie-in to Tennessee. Damon Williams Jr., quarterback for Washington, 4 days after officially signing with Washington to stay another season, $4 million deal for a year. Entered the transfer portal last night. And let me pull this up so I can read it correctly. I don't want to butcher this. But the timing of this was horrible. So there's a Washington volleyball player, a Washington goalkeeper for their soccer team, women's soccer team. Her name is Mia Hammett. Mm-hmm. And she passed away in November.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
and the
story,
celebration of life was last night.
Okay.
And there were multiple members of the team and the staff at that event when that news dropped. And I know Williams Jr. probably wasn't doing that purposefully, but what horrible timing to do so.
I didn't know about this part of it.
First off, horrible timing. She died of cancer at 21.
Right.
And they're all there for that event, celebration of life for, a very special person. I don't believe he was there. Obviously that would have been even more ridiculous, but multiple members of the team and staff were at that event, and he enters the portal 4 days after saying he was committed and signed. And the thing is, all those Washington coaches and guys at that event were completely caught off guard. He hadn't said a word. And we'll get to my bigger point of this here in a moment, but I do want to just explain the whole situation. Washington is going to fully pursue legal action against him, as they should.
Yeah.
Signed the dotted line saying he was going to be there. Now he's saying he's going to leave.
It's not just a Washington issue. It's a Big Ten issue, right, too?
Oh, it's a college football issue.
Oh, yeah. That's
college football issue. The bigger point will be about that. But the guy involved here, Lane Kiffin and LSU. The thing about Damon Williams Jr., he's 5'10", dual threat guy, throws a really good football, played well in the LA Bowl against Boise State, but granted it's Boise State. Very similar to Trinidad Chambliss. So when I saw Damon Williams was entering the portal, I was like, okay. It's got to be Kiffin. And then you hear the report that Sam Leavitt is now going to tour Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a chain reaction here. Ty Simpson, reports indicate he's going to head to the draft. Damon Williams enters the portal. LSU says we want him. Tennessee says we want Leavitt. And that's how that transaction kind of went.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, Simpson's a big part of it, but I think Williams plays a part into it, too, of how Leavitt is on campus today, plans to be on campus, expected to be on campus today. But all of that's the Tennessee tie-in. Going back to Williams and Washington, my bigger point here is we've got to make a change in college football. I have always been one that has loved the college-like feel to college athletics. College basketball, college football, those are my favorite. I love college football. That's why I love talking about it. And I've always wanted to keep as much as we can. I haven't really always loved the conference realignment.
No.
I miss, the Pac-12. I miss the Big East.
Yeah.
I like, history. I have a hard time moving on from anything in life, really, because I like holding on to it. And we're now going away from that. But we're now also seeing guys get paid. And we know that's a part of the game. And I feel like it continues to not corporatize, but the corporatization, I should say, of college football is very evident across the board now.
Right.
And I feel like at this point in the game, you're going to have to start treating it like it's a pro sport. I've always liked the college-like feel, but it's now a pro sport, and you've got to approach it that way. You can't have a guy sign a deal and 4 days later say, I'm entering the portal. That shouldn't be able to happen. That shouldn't be able to happen. And Washington deserves to press legal action against him. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of it. I don't know how this is going to unfold.
Some compensation or something.
Well, something's going to go down.
Yeah,
Something's going to go down.
Yeah.
But for like a team like LSU to go in here and poach him and try to take him, that can't be happening either. We know what happens all across college football. But the bottom line here is, folks, we need a salary cap. We need a luxury tax. Salary cap should be in place. I think it should be done by conference because every conference is different in terms of their budget. The Sun Belt is not going to have the same budget as the SEC.
Right.
And I know you want to be able to compete. The Sun Belt wants to be able to compete with teams and hopefully make the college football playoff and beat a team like Oregon. But we know those teams don't make as much revenue as an SEC team. So salary caps should be in place. If we're going to continue to make this a pro sport, we got to approach it that way. The luxury tax. You can't, you've got teams that are putting $40 million teams together. Texas Tech is going to have a very expensive team next season. They did this year. And they kind of were the example of if you buy your way, you'll get to the playoff. Texas Tech wasn't anything last year.
Yeah.
And they bought their way to the college football playoff. Didn't perform on the best stage, but they made it. And they're the example of if you pay your way, you're going to be able to get there and have a shot at least. And you need luxury tax. You can't have one team have $40 million and another team have 20. You ought to be able to pay off that somewhere or wherever it goes. I know there are a ton of different moving parts to it. You need a commissioner. You need supervisors. The ADs would have to buy into it. I know that salary caps and luxury tax are a couple of pieces to a larger puzzle, but this cannot be happening in college football. If you're going to make it a pro sport, which it already is at this point, you're going to have to treat it like such. And Damon Williams Jr. in this whole situation is a prime example of that. Prime example. I mean, we saw it a couple of years ago with Miami and Wisconsin. Wisconsin found out Miami was tampering, and
he went there.
They tried to take him to court over it.
Yeah,
just can't be happening in our sport. But this is where we are. This is the reality we have to live in. I love the college-like feel, but we're going away from it, and I have to understand that I have to pivot. But I feel like salary caps have to be put in place. You have to have some sort of governing person, commissioner. The NCAA as the logo and a bunch of people in an office in New York is not working and hasn't worked. Everything gets on their desk a year later.
Yeah.
So changes have to be made. The DeMond Williams situation is not only bad for Washington and the way it went down, but also bad for college football. This stuff can't be happening. What'd you make of DeMond Williams and everything that went down?
Yeah, it was crazy. It's funny that it's all come full circle, and now Kiffin's back on the map. Probably how he likes it. He's probably doing it on purpose. He's seeing Ole Miss all the success, things like that. But it's wrong. It's wrong of DeMond Williams. I mean, if you want to hit the portal, go ahead and hit the portal. See what's out there for yourself before you sign the contract. You gotta make good on that contract, and there should be no way out of that. There should be a penalty for him to leave a school while being under contract, things like that. And I mean, it's sad to see that a kid like that would do this to a school, and when you just resigned, you clearly like the school and where you were, the coaching staff, the players, and stuff like that. And I didn't even know the part that you mentioned at the services for that girl and stuff like that. It makes it even more sad that was brought up at that and drew attention away from it. But it's just sad where we are. And Pete, I'm old school, and you appreciate the high school recruits, and they're going a lot of times, and was back in the day, they were going there because of the love of the school. Now it's just the focus is away from that school. Guys are going one and done, and they don't care about Tennessee. They don't care about any of these places, and that's the most frustrating part about all this paying players and stuff like that, which I initially was kind of for, but now it's turned into an absolute joke, a mess, and it's sad to see. And as great as it is seeing Indiana on the map, they're always going to be a basketball school to me. That's the way it is. But yeah, it's just sad where we are right now, and unfortunately, my school is, not following through, and they're getting left behind. And I don't like seeing that, because we are a storied program in college football, and at the rate we're going right now, we're trending the wrong way in this whole mess.
So last night before I went to bed, I'm putting together a couple of things, doing some work late after the Tennessee-Texas game.
Right.
It's probably 12 o'clock. And on ESPN2, they roll, 30 for 30s after the basketball coverage is over. And the one they played last night was focused around NIL and the climate that it's currently in 2025. And watching it, I was like, I haven't seen this. Let's, tune in. And they interviewed various amounts of athletic directors, UConn, SMU. They interviewed the SMU volleyball coach, because SMU has a good volleyball team, but the athletic director says we prioritize football and basketball in terms of our resources. We all know about the revenue share and how that is divvied out. But what the UConn coach said I thought was really interesting, and it made me think about Tennessee, because as we know, UConn's got a really good basketball team.
They do.
Really good women's basketball team.
Yep.
And then football's a revenue generator in any school. And they say that's the main three. Now, they didn't divvy up how they do so, but those are the main three. And the athletic director goes, we understand it's really hard to win in every single sport. So we have to pick which ones we want to do.
Right.
I get it. UConn's a Big East school in basketball, independent and football. Mm-hmm. It's not as comparable to Tennessee, but what I think he's saying does have a point for the Vols. Tennessee's got a really good football program, basketball program, women's basketball program, baseball program.
We're considered the everything school.
The everything school.
Last couple seasons, yeah.
But in this current climate, can you be that? Should you be that? Obviously, Tennessee won the national championship in baseball a couple of years ago. That was a huge success.
Absolutely.
And the basketball team has made back-to-back Elite Eights. And the football team made the college football playoff not too long ago. The women's basketball team got back on the map last year in the NCAA tournament with Kim Caldwell. Softball team goes to the Women's College World Series. Baseball team's competitive again last year. Again last year. And you've got a lot of other sports on campus that do a great job. But if you really want to win like a championship in one of them, like a UConn does in women's basketball and men's basketball, you got to put a lot of your resources in one basket. Texas Tech, They care about football and softball right now. Now, the basketball team is solid.
Basketball player, didn't they?
The basketball team is good. JT Toppin, I like him a lot. But the football team, they're putting a lot of money in there. And granted, they've got a lot more money than a lot of other teams. Right. So they're doing it on a little bit more of a larger scale. But I think there is something to say about maybe Tennessee's trying to do too much at once. And not saying that you want to cut someone's budget. It's obviously a very difficult thing to do. But can Tennessee really win a national championship in football when you're giving this amount to basketball, this amount to softball, this amount to women's basketball, this amount to baseball? I think it's a fair question. Tony Vitello, when he left, a lot of the murmurs were about the budget, that he wanted more money to, pay the top players because that's what they want. If you're competing with a guy that is considering the MLB or staying in college, they're rivaling, pro teams that have a lot of money that are willing to divvy it out. So I wonder if Tennessee's trying to do too much. I'm not saying that the money isn't there and that money is an issue for Tennessee. But I watched that last night and I thought to myself, they're kind of right. If you want to be good in one sport, if you want to win a championship in something, you got to give a lot of resources to that sport. And I think Tennessee's trying to win a championship in like 6 different ones. And that's not a bad thing, but I don't know if they're ever going to be able to get there because of all of it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it makes sense. The crazy thing is, like, you're talking about like everything school, but like a school like Kentucky, for instance, the reports are out there of how much their basketball roster is. But then you're watching them in football. They offered a bag to this guy that's visiting today, Sam Levitt. Like, they've gotten 13 guys from the portal. They're making an effort. You can make an effort in all the areas and still put together a thing. And, for whatever reason, we're just not – I don't know. I thought football was like our AD's thing. Our focus was on the football team. And it seems our focus is on the outside of what Neyland's looking like. What, the basketball, like, do you think we're allocating just money in different areas and our focus should be what's on the field and not outside of it?
Well, I think the misconception with that is like, yes, there's a lot of work being done on campus. There's a lot of work being done to what the game day feel is like. And I had a couple of people, other like content creators that came up to Knoxville this season, did videos and stuff like that. And they're like, man, this is a unique experience. Like this guy went to Texas Tech, SMU, Vanderbilt, went to like 4 or 5, 6 different schools this season.
Right.
And kind of did videos for a weekend there. And he's like, Neyland Stadium and the environment you get on game day is unlike any other. Like Tennessee puts a lot of effort into when you come on campus on Saturday, you're getting a Tennessee experience. And I think that's a good thing because that draws people back. And that is a very unique thing about having this type of a program. But the look of it, as you're talking about, the look of expanding and having the Neyland district and stuff like that, I think is a bad look to people. But in terms of the money, it's not being taken away from the NIL.
Yeah.
So I just think having these issues go down and then having that stuff being built is the bad look.
But like as the fans,
but it doesn't necessarily affect it.
But as a fans, like you pay to go watch them play on Saturdays, like there's this 10% talent fee. Like, shouldn't that be going to the NIL and be able to go get, some of these players you're missing on? Like, I don't see the disconnect between, because you're not able to go show these kids a lot of times. Most of these kids know about Neyland Stadium anyway, and you recruit them out of high school, but like, there's not time to go show them around campus, go show them the academics like it used to be when you recruit these kids like you do with these high school players. This is a completely different animal. This is like, show me the money. You either have it or you don't, is what it feels like right now. And for some reason, either the boosters, Danny, Josh, whoever, isn't paying enough to get the talent in we need. And it's frustrating. I mean, you see these numbers of the SEC schools, you're behind all of them in the conference currently, which is it's sad and crazy to see, especially when you had so many leave, and you have a lot of quality leaving this roster right now, and it's very frustrating, and a lot of people are frustrated with this, and that's why it's hard for when people make a comment for me, to be positive right now, you know. And I'm sorry I'm negative, but that's the way it is right now. It's just, it's frustrating to say the least.
I know a lot of people attack Danny White. I think
it doesn't help what he's done this week either.
And I don't love him replying to people. I think that was a little bit low. But again, you know, he faces a lot of criticism. My advice to Danny: don't read comments. There are a lot of mean people out there. A lot of mean people. There was one weekend like a month ago. I said something about Lenora Sellers, and I had probably 1,000 South Carolina people come on there and start bashing me for it. You can't read comments, especially if you're the athletic director. I didn't like that, but I know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But the first one was I didn't think was the right move. I think Tennessee has done an incredible job under Danny White in terms of becoming the brand that Tennessee was at one point. Like, I feel like in the 2010s, there was like a couple of good seasons of football, but for the most part, it was kind of dreary. And Danny White has arrived. Obviously, he didn't hire Rick Barnes, but Tennessee's had a ton of success under him. The most success Tennessee has ever had has been under Danny White in terms of all sports at once. And I think he continues to try and make Tennessee a destination where people want to come in and, you know, spend money and make it a weekend, right? And I think you get that with the Neyland District. And I'm sure that's going to be a really cool plan and event and everything. I think it's very ambitious.
Yeah.
And he's always been a trailblazer. You know, signing the deal with Pilot to become the official title sponsor of Neyland Stadium and all of that. But I do think when you do all of that, and then in moments like these where there are a lot of people frustrated about the portal, a lot of people frustrated about the way the season ended, the talent fee is always going to be brought up. These are the moments where it's like, where is this actually going?
Yeah.
So I think that's what currently we're in right now. I know there are a lot of comments on here I do want to say.
But like Tony Vitale, like, you know, it's all rumors between Tony and Danny, but like Tony was going an extra mile. He was just going behind the back. Like, he was, if guy wants more money, okay, here you go. Whether Danny liked it or not. Tony went the extra mile, like, to bring talent and keep us at number one in the country for, you know, pretty much his whole time he was here, you know, a national power. And, you know, our football teams just seems like there's no effort there. They're, you know, like I said, the coaches out here recruiting players that have no effect for next year. So it's so many different levels to be frustrated right now. And, you know, it's going to go to another level if Leavitt walks out of here without a deal, or, you know, our quarterback situations, Mack and Faison next year.
We got a comment on how Leavitt will not be able to leave without committing.
Oh, okay.
Buck says, so you back up a Brinks truck at the airport and hand them the bag before they get on campus. Nathan Neese says, are we missing because of money or something else?
I mean, we're not a good football team right now either. That doesn't help. We're not winning.
That was just, this season. Yeah. This season. Last year made the college football playoff.
That seems light years ago now.
Let's see. Yeah, are we missing because of money or something else? I was told before the portal began that money wasn't going to be an issue. So I don't know if – I don't know. I really don't know. I hope it's not, because the money is there and should be there. But maybe they're trying to figure out who they want to get and how much money they're going to like. I feel like Texas Tech is just like pick and go. Just Texas Tech right now is like when you open the tab at the bar at 9:00 and it's 2:00 and you're like, you don't know how much you put on there, but you'll sign it and it'll hit your card.
I mean, all we know is Sorsby got $5 million. I mean, what else are these like top players getting for their team? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Steve-O says, wait, you don't read comments? I do. I read the comments on here. I read the comments. And I do read them sometimes, but I try not to, again, I read the ones on here, the ones I'm talking about on Instagram. I sometimes read, but sometimes they're too mean. I don't like when people DM either. I don't like people DM me and get up all over me. I'm like, come on, man, you're a grown-ass person.
Yeah.
Over a take. And I was right, too. I'm always right? When we come back, we'll continue talking Tennessee football. Deshaun Bishop re-signs with the Volunteers. We'll tell you what that means heading into next season. And Jordan Ross, a former 5-star edge, headed to the portal. We'll talk about it when we return right here on The Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Bad Boy South, Block Entertainment. I see you, Block. Boys in the hood. I like this right here. You ready? Come on. Let's ride. Boys in the hood.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. Coming up in 27 minutes, it's The Drive with Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, The Bear, and Walker Smith, rounding out your Wednesday here in K-Town. Transfer portal continues to pop, and we continue to talk about it on this fine Wednesday.
Pop for others, I guess.
Well, it's popping with news.
I got you.
I'm so tired, man. I really am. Staying up till 2 o'clock every night trying to get this stuff done, and just, whew, I'm gassed. But it's fun. You love doing it, right? You love talking about it. So, couple of tidbits, news bites for the current Tennessee team. Deshaun Bishop has officially re-signed with Tennessee. Yes, re-signed. That's what we say now in 2026. Re-signed with the Volunteers, all SEC running back in 2025, ran for 1,076 yards, 16 touchdowns at 5.9 yards a carry, and a breakout year for the Volunteers. He's a Knoxville native, went to Carnes, former walk-on, a guy that I thought made the biggest jump out of any player this season in terms of what he was last year to now, and he's established himself as running back one, and a big reason why Peyton Lewis kind of looked around and said, yeah, I got to get up out of here. I'm not going to be the running back one or compete for it anymore. This guy's earned it. So big keep, big retention for Tennessee. Really the first guy that's had any retention or announced a new deal with the Volunteers. So he's sticking around. Obviously, you've got to think about other options in the running back room as well. Justin Baker and Dwayne Morris are two other guys in that room, but they don't have a ton of experience. And that's a little bit of a risk you have to run if you don't add another running back. I have talked a lot about Zylan Perry out of University of Louisiana Lafayette. I anticipate he's going to be a specialist, but he is a running back right now for the Ragin' Cajuns. 4-year guy. I don't think he's necessarily your backup running back in the SEC.
No.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But Cam Cook goes the other way.
Man,
and that's a tough loss. But Deshaun Bishop staying. Any thoughts on that?
Well deserved. Ran hard. Earned every penny of whatever they gave him. Yeah, he was better than I thought he'd be as well. When you lose a guy of, Dylan Sampson's stature and all SEC, we were worried about the running backs. We thought we had 3 good ones, with that addition of Star Thomas going in last season, but Deshaun Bishop kind of took the reins and never let go of him, to be honest. Even when he got hurt, he still worked and kept his job. And yeah, he was, like I said, he's earned every penny, and happy he's re-upped, and I'm glad he's sticking around for the Vols. He's gonna be needed again going into next season, no doubt about it.
Another revelation for the current iteration of the Volunteers is Jordan Ross, a former 5-star commit out of high school, was the number 9 player in that 2024 class, was listed as one of the best edge rushers as well. He has decided to enter the NCAA transfer portal and depart from Knoxville. Totaled 23 tackles over his time at Tennessee. And it wasn't a surprise to me. Chop Robinson was not retained. That was one of the main guys he was in with, and it wasn't a great fit for him. Jim Knowles comes in. Knowles likes beefier edges. I mean, you look at the guys he's had. Denied Dennis Sutton. That's a guy that doesn't skip his Wheaties in the morning. That guy's a big dude. I'm not saying that Jordan Ross isn't a good player or won't be one elsewhere. I thought he was underwhelming even this year.
Yeah, saying 6'5", 245 small is pretty funny.
Well, just like in terms of the frame, though. Like, does he look as big as the...
Well, no, but a guy we just had on campus, All-American from Penn State, didn't look smaller than him, and I feel like the lean edge is the way it goes these days, even in the NFL.
But this is a guy that's been here 2 years and hasn't really...
I mean, he's played behind Pierce and Joseph.
But this year he had a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
And didn't move the needle. Like when Josephs was in that role, I remember back in 2023, we're at the Alabama game, and Joshua Josephs was making big-time plays, and that was his second season with the Vols. And he was a really good run stopper at the time, and I think then developed into a really good pass rusher. But like Jordan Ross right now, I thought he got overshadowed by other guys on that defensive line in that same type of class as he is. Like I thought Davian Hobbs looked the part this year. I thought he was a good player for Tennessee.
Right.
Ross, I didn't really get it with him.
I don't know. It was just surprising because I feel like, I think you could have been, all right, you're the guy. We need you to step up, and things like that because it's a position of need and you're even more desperate now. I mean, that D-line's pretty depleted right now on the edges, interior, everywhere, and, there's outside of these freshmen you got coming in, there's nothing you've gotten in the portal yet, to help this D-line and things like that. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't a fit and he didn't flash enough or whatever, but I don't know. We'll see where he ends up, and we'll be watching to see what he can do. But, yeah, I feel like it's a loss right now.
Well, I feel like it's a loss because he was a 5-star. Right? If he were a 3-star that had kind of performed the way he has performed over the last couple of years, I don't think there's going to be as much of an outcry. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I'm not one. I mean, your star is what you are in high school. You become a greater star when you get to the level, and maybe the expectations were really high. I mean, he was as highly recruited as anybody we've brought in here as a defensive player, and he could have. I mean, James Pierce was a 3-star out of high school, and he elevated himself all the way to one of the best players in the NFL now, So it's what you do when you get on campus. And he obviously, to only have a sack and a half is pretty disappointing, though, for a guy that, flashed as a punt guy, the year before coming into the season. I expected him to have a better season, but it's just shocking to see that, especially now with guys leaving and stuff like that. I thought maybe he'd see the writing and step up this season, but I guess we won't get to see that unless something happens down the road. But it seems like the ship sailed now on him.
I just think it's key when you lose guys like this. They're going to put out the stats that make them look, like right now there are 4,500 players in the portal. Mm-hmm. When these guys enter, you're getting like career stats, and they might not have played in like 2 years or whatever it may be. Like TJ Finley enters the portal. He's got like 9,000 yards. Like, obviously he hadn't, and I'm not saying that Jordan Ross is comparable to those guys, but what I'm saying is I think when you just see the notification former 5-star leaves.
Yeah, I don't even know why they put that. Like, it doesn't matter what you did.
Well, it's what he was.
3 years ago in high school.
And like, when Malachi Nelson, for example, Malachi Nelson was a 5-star quarterback that went to USC.
Yeah.
And then transferred and left to Boise State.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, no, Malachi Nelson's gone.
And they did the same thing with Nico, right?
Well, I'd say Nico is better than Malachi Nelson, but like Malachi Nelson got benched this year for UTEP.
Right, yeah.
But sometimes that 5-star rating or that ranking out of high school doesn't always live up to the expectations. So
that's what you speak about with kids in the portal. This guy's ranked, like the guy from Slippery Rock,
Yeah.
He's getting looks from Ohio State, Pittsburgh, us, top teams in college football, and he's ranked 600-something in the country.
Yeah.
And we've had success with guys out of the portal that were pretty lowly ranked. I mean, Hood was like the 42nd ranked cornerback last year up from Colorado or something.
Yeah, Hood was, I think, 478 was his number out of the portal.
Yeah.
Well, so James Pierce was a 5-star, if I remember correctly.
Was he? Okay.
Pierce,
I wasn't sure.
And I think he was out of North Carolina because Tennessee had gotten back-to-back top prospects, or had gotten like 3 of the last 4 top prospects out of North Carolina. I believe he was a 5-star.
Yeah, because he was obviously right before, Sanders and Faison and all these guys we've gotten from the Carolinas.
But yeah, I mean, the portal rankings too, that's why I've tried to not overreact to some guys. Like,
I think I'm overreacting at the fact that there's nothing to replace him yet, and there's nothing on the roster currently that gives you hope. I mean, especially when you lose Caleb Herring and Joseph's going pro. Like, it's very frustrating that there's no plan that in place to replace some of these guys that, good or bad, I mean, they're bodies and you're losing them now.
A little bit more optimism here in the comment section. Ben Sherman says, give the staff time to get these guys signed. Portal's only been open 5 to 6 days. Staff will get the needs filled. Zach Barton says James Pierce was a 5-star. Freaky Fox, I went and watched Ross while he was at Vestavia, and I never saw anything special from him aside from size. Prime Point Media, why do we keep missing on all these portal guys? I think you've missed on a couple important ones. There are a couple of guys you're just kind of in the mix for. But, I mean, if you lose a Xavier Gilliam, that's where I have a problem. Xavier Gilliam's a guy that should be here. If you lose him, that's a problem.
And the kid you keep mentioning, the return specialist or running back, Xylon.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't do anything.
You can find someone to return punts.
But, I mean, he was the guy that was supposed to be on board already. He was being mentioned the same day Ori Williams was, and we saw along that one.
Yeah.
Finally took that water thing was overflowing from that thing you sent. So,
yeah.
I mean, you put out a crystal ball and you think, all right, any minute now, or, so I don't know. I don't know. Whew, can't miss Gilliam.
The teams at the top of the portal are coaches taking their best players with them to new schools. That might be true for Oklahoma State and Penn State. Virginia Tech is a little bit different. He just took a lot of those recruits from high school with him. But, I mean, LSU is a team with a new coach. Indiana's a team that is in the college football playoff that has a coach. Ole Miss, Pete Golding, I don't think is an SEC head coach long term, but hell, he's doing it right now.
Well, he's also keeping all of his guys.
Oh, he's keeping them.
That's as big as anything.
He's retaining, but he's also going and getting them. So it's just, and there are other teams.
It looked like he just signed a defensive coordinator or something from the Cardinals. I thought I saw as well.
Oh, okay.
But
I will say Tennessee's not the only team in this situation right now. Notre Dame's a team that hasn't really done much anything in the
Do they have a lot of returning stuff?
Well, they got to replace Jerry and Price and Jeremiah Love. They got some running backs they've recruited that are going up. C.J. Carr obviously going to still be there. They lose Kenny Minchie.
Yeah.
But like Notre Dame hasn't done necessarily a whole lot in the portal either. There are other teams in Tennessee's realm that haven't done a ton.
Yeah. But we don't care about that, right?
But you
now.
But you don't care about that. And also, I think Tennessee has bigger needs than some of these other power programs. Like defensively, I think Tennessee has a bigger need than anything Notre Dame has, anything Alabama has.
I don't even think you. Yeah, I mean, it's the amount of defensive players you need is crazy right now. Like, you need people, and you're not getting it. Not to mention a quarterback. So I mean, you're not making yourself. I can only imagine the pressure that's mounting right now. You're getting inside close to a week left of this thing. Like,
I think he feels it.
I think he feels stuff like that. So man, gotta do something here. Get some momentum going. Sign Xavier Gill and get him in the boat.
Yeah.
So maybe Amari Campbell. Maybe we have a big weekend. I don't know.
Steve-O says players rally around Pete at Mississippi. Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
And I said it yesterday. Pete Golden, shoved Lane Kiffin in a locker, at least with those Ole Miss guys that he thought was going to come over. Notre Dame doesn't have to. They are in the playoffs automatically. I like that, Buck. I like that. All right, when we come back, we'll touch on Tennessee basketball last night. Big win over Texas. Jacoby Gillespie goes for a career-high 34 points. We'll break it down when we return and wrap things up. Stay right here. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies, acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Are you ready to make your dream home a reality? Hi, I'm Bo Kregner, and here at the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, we know that finding the perfect home is more than just a transaction. It's about finding your sanctuary, your future, your happiness. Our team is dedicated to guiding you every step of the way, ensuring a smooth and stress-free journey towards home ownership. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we're here to help. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or just visit us online at bonowshouses.com.
All right, wrapping things up on this Wednesday from K-Town. Coming up next, The Drive from 3 to 6 right here on Fan Run Radio. They'll help you try to make of what the portal is right now for Tennessee. Tennessee did play a basketball game last night, however, and a big win over Texas. Rick Barnes' 5th consecutive win over his former team, and Jacoby Gillespie dazzled for the Volunteers, a career high in points with 34. Follow that up with 5 assists and 4 rebounds. A strong showing from him after a couple of quiet performances since that Rutgers matchup against really good teams. I thought the big takeaway last night, Brett.
Yes.
I didn't see Ethan Berg. And Ethan Berg is the best player for the opposing team every time he steps onto the floor. And it's not, I mean, I hate to be mean. I think he's a huge liability. I think he's a huge liability. If he's going to be out there to be your secondary ball handler, you got to be able to take care of the basketball, and you got to be able to have some sort of offensive threat. And every time he touches it, I feel like it's just
he's scared.
It's a Looney Tunes skit.
He's not a point guard. That's probably part of the reason too. You can't trot him out there as a guard. He's more of a 2 guard. He's out there to shoot the ball.
Well, I mean, but he hadn't even done that well necessarily.
No, but he's just, you can see how uncomfortable he is in that role.
I like Troy Henderson a lot. I talked about him a lot preseason. Heard a lot about him this offseason. I know he's undersized. But Zakai Ziegler kind of took on that role early on in his career. Started playing a little bit more as the season went on. And by the SEC championship, when Tennessee took on A&M, he was playing big minutes in that one. So I'm not saying Henderson's going to be that, but I'd like to get him more reps because I think he's a better ball handler, and I think he's a willing shooter and a guy that's got confidence. Even early on, like he's a true freshman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Early on in these games, at the beginning of the season, he was coming in and taking shots. He was taking 3 to 4 threes a night. Tennessee shot 12 threes against Arkansas on Saturday. That's not going to cut it.
I only took 15 last night.
At least that's a start. It's a start, Brett. We're having a little bit more. But a lot of that was just because, Jacoby Gillespie was special. We all know what this team is.
Yeah.
But in order to maximize and get the most out of it, I think you've got to be good with those rotational pieces, and Ethan Berg's not one of them. So my big takeaway is no Ethan Berg minutes is a good thing for me. What'd you make of the win last night over Texas?
Yeah, I mean, you felt comfortable all night for the most part. Texas is a work in progress, not a very good basketball team, but I feel like you came out and handled your business as you should. You got to win these home games because, let's be honest, we don't know what we're going to get on the road. We got a tough stretch here coming up, so this was a must win, even though it's a second SEC game. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it was nice to see Gillespie get off the mark again and things like that. But yeah, it was just comfortable, I guess. No huge takeaways for me personally. That game didn't really move a needle one way or the other, and things like that. So just glad we got the win. And outside of Gillespie, I thought it was a pretty a decent performance from. I like Amari Evans still. I think he brings a lot of energy and things like that. Flies around, whether he's making a stat or not, but just real aggressive and stuff like that. So you like him, and I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do about Nate Amin at this point. we can't have a basketball conversation without talking about this guy, but I don't know what to make of him right now. And I don't know. I don't want to say I'm out on him. You hate to do that. He's a young kid, but just seems kind of lost out there right now. 5 turnovers again. At least he made his free throws, things like that. But man, I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, it's tough because Ament, I think, is in a tough position. Yeah. I think Ament's being asked to be something and do something that he's not ready to do. He's not grown into his body yet. He's not as fluid and comfortable as you would like on a college stage.
No.
The problem is he's got to be your second best player, and he's just not there yet.
I don't know who our second best player is, to be honest.
Well, I think it's any of the big guys down low. Like I think on any given night, Akpara, Carey, Brown, Estrella. I think
this is a combination of players that are.
And that's good. I think all those guys are really good, and I think that's a positive. Unlike you've had in years past, where depth down low has been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now is with the current iteration of this roster, you've got one guy in Jacoby Gillespie that can score at will and is a very confident shooter, a guy that can create his own shot, but you don't have that alongside him. Like Ament can, even sometimes when Ament's got a smaller defender, he can't get him.
Crazy. He took 4 shots.
Well, I think confidence is a big thing.
Gillespie had it going. You're going to give the hot hand the ball.
Of course.
He took 18 shots, made 12 of them. So, he carried you all first half. He's the reason you won the basketball game last night because you kept that. Texas cut into it.
I'd say about a 10, 15-point lead throughout the second half was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Texas cut it to 10 a couple different times. They started making some threes, and that's the big difference. They made 11 threes, but you still won by 14, because you dominated other areas. Down low specifically, you really controlled glass and things like they got 15 offensive rebounds, which you don't love, but you got to win. That's all you can say, a comfortable win. And now you got a big one on Saturday at Florida, on noon. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Be a really tough test.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Wednesday edition of the Playbook presented by VIP.
Real quick, where are you taking Levitt tonight if you're showing him around town?
I'm going to pick up Levitt here in 2 hours at the
Okay.
Knoxville Airport.
Where are you heading? You heading just? I don't even know what you do in these quick visits.
We're going to what's that place called?
Are you going to Market Square or?
No, well, it's Old City.
Old City?
Lonesome Dove.
Oh, you're treating them real nice.
Taking them to Lonesome Dove.
Not Calhoun's on the River, one of the most historic parts.
All right, we love Calhoun's on the River.
Yeah, I know.
We love
great
Calhoun's
atmosphere.
on the river.
I can imagine him walking in the same way we did.
And that'd be a good choice. But Lonesome Dove's right
there,
next to
you
me.
can see the state. I mean, they probably have a buffet rolled out at Neyland. Who knows?
I'm a big fan of Stir, too.
Maybe they just put them on the 50-yard line at Neyland.
Maybe I cook for them. I'll do what is it? I'll go get some Wagyu steak. I'll do it all. I'm about cussed right there. I'll have a buffet for them ready to go at my place.
You better have one dish with a pile of cash, too.
We can hang out, chop it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they can stay at my house, my place.
Man.
Sam Levitt, I'll see you in 2 hours, bud.
Man, it's gonna be
I
awesome.
don't have a Brinks truck, though. Buck
No.
was saying earlier I needed a Brinks truck. And just,
Well, you have a truck. Can you just put the sound on your truck?
I'll put all the cash in the back and say, hey.
And just get one of those beep, beep, and put in.
Yeah. Sam Levitt or bust, folks.
Here we go, man.
Hope he enjoys his trip tonight.
This could be the momentum we need.
I hope he enjoys
Him
his
and Gilliam
trip.
tonight.
He'd probably become my favorite Vol immediately.
Wow. Well, the way you talk about him, yeah.
I love Chaz. I love DK. Love ZK or Zakai. Hooker is special because I was, when I was in college.
Yeah, some of your most special.
A couple of the baseball players too.
There you go.
But Sam Levitt, hope you enjoy your trip. That's the Playbook. Brett Hollander, William Pattison. Coming up next, it's The Drive on Fan Run Radio.